Good morning, students. Here we come up with the gross anatomy lecture of the ligaments and supports of uterus. So therefore, in the ligaments and supports of the uterus, we pass across true ligaments and false ligaments. In the true ligaments, there are total, this is often asked in MCQ, there are total 8 true ligaments because they are pair of 4 ligaments. So total 8 ligaments, true ligaments, and false ligaments, total there are 6 ligaments. We are going to discuss individually all the ligaments, and before that we would like to draw this line diagram on this side. So therefore we are drawing here the line diagram. This will be the cervix. Here we are drawing this uterus, the funding part of the uterus, lateral wall of the uterus, and similarly we are going to show here this will be the vaginal lateral wall. So therefore cervix, uterus and vagina. Similarly we are going to show here broad ligament, and before we show the broad ligament we are going to show here this will be the fallopian tube. So just draw this fallopian tube in this way, or it is called uterine tube, from the lateral angle of the uterus. Similarly, we are going to draw here the entire structure over here. We are going to draw as broad ligament. So this is the attachment of the broad ligament everywhere. This is the attachment of the broad ligament on the lateral wall of the uterus. So therefore here this is the broad ligament which is attached on the lateral wall, and this broad ligament will function as one of the false ligaments of the uterus, which will be taken in a separate topic because broad ligament is asked as a different topic. After drawing this broad ligament, we are going to draw lower down. I'll use yellow color, and I'm going to draw the transverse cervical ligament. This is the transverse cervical ligament. So here also I will draw the transverse cervical ligament. It is a fan-shaped ligament. So therefore, here we are going to draw this transverse cervical ligament, and after drawing this transverse cervical ligament lower down, we will draw the levator ani, different color, and this levator ani here we are going to draw in this way. This will serve as the levator ani. So therefore, this is the levator ani. Here we are going to put some color here, and this will serve as attachment of levator ani. And in this levator ani, there will be merging of fibers of the transverse cervical ligament. And below the levator ani, on the extreme side wall of the uterus, the vagina, we are going to show the urogenital diaphragm. So therefore, this will serve as the urogenital diaphragm. Here, this will serve as the urogenital diaphragm. And we are going to name here broad ligament. We are going to name this as transverse cervical ligament. We are going to name this as levator ani, and we are going to name this as urogenital diaphragm. Now, after drawing this, we start with the true ligaments. As I told you, there are 8 ligaments, so 4 pairs. The first pair of the true ligament will be round ligament of uterus, and the round ligament of uterus with red color I am going to draw. The round ligament of uterus is attached on the lateral angle of the uterus, and on the lateral angle of the uterus below, and it will be situated below the opening of the fallopian tube. So from the lateral angle of uterus, this is where the round ligament will start, from this angle, and it will be situated exactly just below the opening of this fallopian tube. So this is the round ligament of uterus. Then this round ligament of uterus will travel through the broad ligament. It will travel in the broad ligament. It is a content of broad ligament, and then it will pass crossing the lateral wall of the lateral pelvic wall. It will cross the lateral pelvic wall. structures of lateral pelvic wall it will cross, and then it will enter the deep inguinal ring. Once it enters the deep inguinal ring, once it enters, we will show, once it enters the deep inguinal ring, it will enter the inguinal canal. So this ligament will pass through the inguinal canal. Here it will pass through the inguinal canal, and then it will divide into various fibrous bands. So after passing out through inguinal canal, it will divide into various fibrous bands, and these fibrous bands will be attached to the labium majus or labia majora. This much you have to write about the round ligament of uterus, the first ligament. So here I am going to name here, I am going to mark this and name as round ligament of uterus, and I am going to mark it as ligament number 1, true ligament. Other name of this round ligament of uterus will be the ligamentum teres uteri. Please note down, what is ligamentum teres uteri? It is the round ligament of uterus, and this is the attachment, these are the attachments of round ligament of uterus. These attachments are also asked in MCQs or 1 mark question answer. Where is the proximal attachment? Where is the distal attachment? Distal attachment to labia majora, proximal attachment to the lateral angle of uterus just below the opening of the fallopian tube. And this round ligament of uterus will provide the angle of anteversion and anteflexion. It will maintain the anteversion and anteflexion of the uterus. And it is a remnant of, this round ligament of uterus is a remnant of gubernaculum of ovary. It is a remnant of the distal part of the gubernaculum of ovary, embryological remnant, distal segment of gubernaculum of ovary. Here we finish our first true ligament. Now second true ligament. Second true ligament will be this ligament, the transverse cervical ligament, which already we have marked. So ligament number 2, transverse cervical ligament. The other name of transverse cervical ligament will be McEnroth's ligament. So the other name will be McEnroth's ligament, or sometimes in other books it is mentioned as sustentaculum of Bonney. Sustentaculum of Bonney. So this is also called McEnroth's ligament or sustentaculum of Bonney, and it is more commonly known as cardinal ligament, C-A-R-D-I-N-L, cardinal ligament. And attachment of this transverse cervical ligament will be, it will be attached on either side of the cervix and upper part of vagina, and it will then pass laterally and it will be merging with the levator ani, fascia covering the pelvic diaphragm, that is levator ani. It will merge with the levator ani, and its basic function is to hold the cervix in medial position. So it will prevent the prolapse of the uterus as well as the cervix through the vagina, and therefore because of this function it is known as cardinal ligament. What are the structures that are related just above this ligament? Very important. Two structures are related above this. Number 1, there will be the crossing of uterine artery in front of ureter. So crossing of uterine artery in front of ureter is observed just above the transverse cervical ligament. This is also asked in one MCQ or 1 mark question answer. And above that is the lower border of the broad ligament. This much you should understand. Ureter and crossing of the uterine artery in front of the ureter, which is related just above the transverse cervical ligament. So it will function as a cardinal ligament. This is ligament number 2. Now ligament number 3. Ligament number 3 will be, there will be uterosacral ligament. And this uterosacral ligament, we are going to go on that side to draw the diagram. So therefore, in the uterosacral ligament, we are going to draw, please come on this side. First we are going to draw the cross section. The cross section of the uterus, this will be the cross section of the uterus here. And then we are going to draw, just in front of the uterus, we are going to draw the bladder. So please draw this bladder here, urinary bladder, and just behind we are going to draw the rectum, and here we are going to draw the rectum, and just posterior to the rectum we are going to finish this as with that of the sacrum. So this will be the sacrum, and anteriorly we are going to show the pubis. So we are going to show this as the pubis, symphysis pubis. This is the symphysis pubis, pubic bone, this is the pubic bone. And now we are going to show transverse cervical ligament. So transverse cervical ligament will be simply attached to the lateral wall, and here we complete this as with the transverse cervical ligament. Here also we are showing the transverse cervical ligament. Then we are going to show ligament number 3, as I told you previously, that is uterosacral ligament. And this uterosacral ligament will be attached, I will show this with yellow color, it will be attached from the posterior side of the cervix to the anterior side of sacral 3 vertebrae. And here we are going to show this is the uterosacral ligament, pair of uterosacral ligaments, just as pair of transverse cervical ligaments and the pair of round ligaments. Same way the third pair is the uterosacral ligament. So here what we have drawn is simply uterosacral ligament, and please name this ligament here as, we are going to name this as the uterosacral ligament, and we are going to name it as ligament number 3. They are a pair of fibromuscular bands extending from the posterior surface of the cervix till the anterior part of the sacral 3 vertebra, and they will curve around the rectum. They will pass around the lateral border of the rectum. And these uterosacral ligaments, they are present within, this is asked in MCQ or one more question, so they are present within the recto-uterine folds of peritoneum. They are located within the recto-uterine folds of the peritoneum. Please note down. And these uterosacral ligaments, they are accompanied by lymphatics of the cervix. Please note down this one more question answer. Lymphatics of the cervix will travel through the uterosacral ligaments. So this is ligament number 3, pair of uterosacral ligaments. What is their function? Basically this uterosacral ligament will help in maintaining the anti-flexion and anti-version of the uterus by counteracting with the forward pull of the uterus. And which ligaments provide the forward pull? That is the round ligaments of the uterus. So therefore, uterosacral ligaments will counterbalance, they will function as a synergistic part of the ligament against the action of the round ligament of uterus. So both the round ligaments in front and uterosacral ligaments behind will counteract each other, and they both of these pairs will maintain the angles of antiversion and antiflexion of the uterus. So ligament number 3, uterosacral ligament. Now ligament number 4, the last pair of ligament, last pair of true ligament, pubocervical ligament, and here we are going to extend this as pubocervical ligament. Please draw it like this. Here we are going to show that these pubocervical ligaments are attached on the anterior surface of the cervix. Please note down, anterior surface of cervix, and they will pass through the inferolateral surface of the urinary bladder. They will cross across the inferolateral surface of urinary bladder, and they will be attached on the posterior surface of the pubic bone. These are the attachments of the pubocervical ligament, and here we are going to name this ligament as pubocervical ligament, and we are going to write it as number 4. That is the true ligament number 4, pubocervical ligament. What is the function? See the attachment. The function of pubocervical ligament will be, it will counteract the traction produced by uterosacral ligament. So it will act exactly in opposite direction to the uterosacral ligament. That is pubocervical ligament. So here we finish the true ligaments. All the 4 pairs of true ligaments, round ligaments of uterus, number 1. Number 2, transverse cervical ligament or McIntosh ligament or cardinal ligaments. Number 3, uterosacral ligaments, and number 4, pubocervical ligaments. Now we come to the false ligaments. False ligaments, for the false ligaments, we will just go on the extreme right. I will take this board, extreme right, and we are going to draw a line diagram, and in that line diagram I am going to show, I will just drop this. In the line diagram here we are going to show the urinary bladder. Please draw alongside with me. This will go as urinary bladder. Here we are going to show, this will be the vagina. Here please draw the vagina, and here we are going to show this projection as the rectum. So please draw this rectum, and this is how we draw, and this curvature is very important. This will be the anorectal flexure. This curvature, anorectal flexure. So therefore here rectum, this is anal canal, this will be vagina, this is urinary bladder, and we are going to show here in the form of a red color structure, there will be presence of perineal body, and this perineal body will be exactly located between the orifice of the vagina and that of the anal canal. So therefore we are going to show the presence of perineal body, and this perineal body is an important structure. Muscles of perineum are attached here in this fibromuscular node of perineal body, which is always located between the opening of anal canal and the orifice of the vagina. Now here, since after drawing these three structures, we are going to show the uterus. Now, for the uterus, you draw the cervical part of the uterus. So therefore, we are going to show this uterus in this way, and this is how the uterus is located with the angle of anteversion and anteflexion. So angle of anteversion and angle of anteflexion. This is how the entire uterus is located. This is the exact line diagram of the sagittal section of the female genital system. Please draw it in this way. Now the false ligaments. As I told you, total number 6. We start with the first ligament, the first false ligament. These false ligaments are peritoneal folds only. So therefore, the first peritoneal fold between the anterior surface of uterus, this is the anterior surface of uterus, this is the superior surface of urinary bladder, and that will be, the fold will be, I will draw with the violet color, I will draw this with the violet color, and that will be uterovesical fold. So please draw this, uterovesical fold. First false ligament, fold of peritoneum, and here I am going to write down number 1. Uterovesical fold of peritoneum. This is the first false ligament between the anterior surface of the uterus and the superior surface of urinary bladder. This is the fold of peritoneum, uterovesical fold. Second fold, the second false ligament will be again the second fold of peritoneum, which is reflected between anterior surface of the rectum and posterior fornix of the vagina, and therefore that fold which is reflected like this will be known as recto-vaginal fold. So therefore, second, here I will write this as number 2. The second false ligament, recto-vaginal fold between anterior surface of rectum and posterior fornix of the vagina. Now, this recto-vaginal fold will have on its either sides the third false ligament. Now, this third false ligament is not a median fold like uterovesical and recto-vaginal fold, but they are a pair of recto-uterine folds. So now comes the false ligament with right and left, that is the paired false ligaments, and these paired false ligaments are recto-uterine folds. So here I am going to draw the recto-uterine folds. These are the recto-uterine folds. Now these recto-uterine folds, always mark it, they are present between the posterior fornix of the vagina and the anterior surface of the rectum, a pair of recto-uterine folds. And therefore, here I am going to mark this as, please mark it as number 3, and they are a pair of recto-uterine folds. So this is the third pair of the false ligament. Then after naming this 1 uterovesical fold, 2 rectovaginal fold, 3 pair of recto-uterine folds, now we are going to show what is recto-uterine pouch. Now this recto-uterine folds, they will enclose one pair of true ligaments which I had discussed with you, and those pair of true ligaments was uterosacral ligaments. Remember, uterosacral ligaments which I had discussed with you, the uterosacral ligaments, they are enclosed within this recto-uterine folds. So therefore, now the entire pouch that is produced here, where my fingers are there, that is called the recto-uterine pouch of Douglas. So the recto-uterine pouch of Douglas will have the following boundaries. See the diagram, simple, and tell the boundaries. The recto-uterine pouch of Douglas, where my hand is there, will have the following boundaries. In the floor of recto-uterine pouch, there is recto-vaginal fascia. Similarly, anterior wall, there will be supra-vaginal portion of cervix and the posterior fornix of vagina, anterior wall. Posterior wall is formed by anterior wall of rectum. On either side, there will be a pair of recto-uterine folds. And the floor which is formed by the recto-vaginal fascia will be lying, that is the floor of recto-uterine pouch. So here I am going to name this as recto-uterine pouch, or it is called pouch of Douglas. So this area is pouch of Douglas. So therefore this floor of the pouch of Douglas, or the floor of recto-uterine pouch, will be lying 5.5 centimeter above the external anal orifice, or it is lying around 7.5 centimeter above the external vaginal orifice. These are 1 mark question answers MCQs. So therefore, now after discussing these four structures. One, uterovesical fascia. Number two, pair of recto-uterine folds. And number four, recto-uterine pouch or pouch of Douglas. Now here, how many false ligaments we have discussed? We have discussed one, false ligament uterovesical fascia. Two, false ligament rectovaginal fascia. 3 and 4, because they are pairs, that is recto-uterine fold. So total 4 plus 1 plus 1. Total 2 plus 1 plus 1. So 4. Now the 5 and 6, that is the last pair of false ligaments, are broad ligaments. And these broad ligaments I will take up in a different segment, different lecture. So remember those broad ligaments, right and left broad ligaments, they are a separate lecture. Now we come to, after finishing this, we come to supports of uterus. Supports of uterus will be, now in the supports of uterus, for example, I'll write down here, supports of uterus, we are going to take the entire uterus. You can draw these diagrams in the supports of the uterus. The entire uterus is supported by the following structures. And what are those following structures? Number one, the first following structure will be the muscles. The muscles will form the supports. Number two, the second support will be provided by the ligaments. Number three, the third structure that will support the uterus will be provided by the viscera. And number four, the fourth structure that will form the support will be, there will be parametric tissue. So this parametric tissue will function as the loose packing material. Now we start with the muscles which will provide supports to the uterus. In the muscles, please write down, there will be the levator ani. Levator ani is the main muscle which will form the support. So in the levator ani, the first portion will be pubovaginalis part. And in the pubovaginalis part, I will draw the pubovaginalis part in this area. This pubovaginalis part will form a sphincter in this direction. So this is the pubovaginalis part. And it will be providing, it will have its attachment to the perineal body, pubovaginalis. So therefore, here I am going to name this, here I am going to mark it as pubovaginal sphincter. So what will this pubovaginal sphincter do? Since it is attached to the perineal body, it will provide a sphincteric mechanism to the vaginal portion, and also it will narrow down the hiatus urogenitalis. Remember hiatus urogenitalis, which I have discussed with you, it is an opening within the pelvic diaphragm, within the levator ani. So therefore it will act as a sphincter, pubovaginalis, and it will help in providing support to the uterus. Second, now the second will be puborectal sling. That also I have discussed with you, puborectal sling. I have discussed with you in pelvic diaphragm, in levator ani. That puborectal sling will be, I will draw here, this curvature is very important, as I told you, that is the rectoanal curvature or anorectal flexure that will be pulled by simply this puborectal sling in this direction. So this sling which I have provided is puborectal sling, and therefore here we are going to mark this puborectal sling as this. This puborectal sling will pull the rectoanal flexure in forward direction, as a result of which it will help basically in supporting the posterior wall of the vagina, posterior fornix of the vagina and the uterus. So this is the second important musculature of the levator ani which will provide as support of the uterus. And the third in the muscles will be perineal body. This perineal body with its attached muscles of perineum will function as the main fibromuscular node which is present here, and it will provide maximum support to the entire vagina as well as the uterus. So it is known as gynecological perineum. So these three structures, please mark down, pubovaginalis, puborectal sling, and the perineal body will function as the muscular support of the uterus. Now number two, ligaments which will form the support. Now out of these, all the ligaments which we have discussed, out of all these ligaments which whatever we have discussed, three ligaments. First ligament will be transverse cervical ligament. Please draw this transverse cervical ligament as we have drawn. If individual question is asked, write a short note on the supports of uterus. These are the supports, and for these ligaments you have to draw all these line diagrams. Transverse cervical ligament or McIntosh's ligament. Write about that. I already have explained it to you. It is also called cardinal ligament, and draw the diagram. So that is ligament number one. Then ligament number two, there will be the uterosacral ligament. So please write down uterosacral ligament. This uterosacral ligament is very important, and this uterosacral ligament will provide the counteraction with round ligament of uterus. So uterosacral ligament already we have draw the diagram. That is the second ligament which will provide as the support of the uterus, and the main ligament which provides the support will be round ligament of uterus. This is the main ligament which will provide as a support because it will maintain the forward anti-flexion and anti-version of the uterus. Round ligament of uterus, which is contracted by the uterosacral ligament, and the transverse cervical ligament which will function as the cardinal ligament. These three ligaments, whatever we have drawn the diagrams, they will function as the main support, ligamentous support for the uterus. They will function as the ligamentous support of the uterus. Then we come to the third, viscera. Very important to understand. Only 2 points we have to understand. Very simple. If you see this diagram, this flexure is provided by the sling, puborectalis sling, and therefore there is a flexure of rectum and anal canal. And on this flexure is resting the posterior fornix of vagina, where my hand is there. So this posterior fornix, the posterior wall of vagina is resting on it. So therefore, in the visceral support, the structure which you need to mention will be the posterior fornix of vagina, or it is called the posterior wall of vagina, upon which there will be resting of the cervix of the uterus. This is the first visceral support. And the second visceral support will be, here I am going to write down, the superior surface of the urinary bladder. Now please see the diagram above me. Superior surface of urinary bladder, on which the anterior surface of uterus is resting, and between which there is a false fold of peritoneum which is called the uterovesical fascia. So the superior surface of urinary bladder will form as visceral support. So muscular support, ligamentous support and visceral support, and the last, parametric tissue. Only one sentence, 1 point, and that parametric tissue is nothing but, it is the loose material which will be filled up, or in certain books it is mentioned as packing material. This parametric tissue will be extending from the parietal peritoneum, parietal pelvic wall, till the end of pelvic fascia, and therefore it will fill up, this tissue will fill up the dead spaces which is present between the uterus, cervix, vagina, and the lateral wall of pelvis and the floor of the female pelvic cavity. So here we finish the ligaments and supports of the uterus. Thank you very much.